Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. We are from group 12. There are Lia Apriana, Hilia,
Hi.
and me, Septian Adi Pratama.
Okay.
For the first slide, do you know intertextuality? And I will explain to you. Intertextuality refers to the phenomenon of one text referencing, quoting, or alluding to another text. It is the interplay and interconnectedness between different texts, where the meaning of one text is shaped or influenced by its relationship with other texts. To understand intertextuality, think of the different types of reference to stories, music, or memes that you might make in everyday conversation. Literary intertextuality is pretty similar to that, except that is usually kept to more literary references. Intertextuality origin. Intertextual origin. The word intertextual was coined in the 1960s by Julia Kristeva in her analysis of Bakhtin's concepts of dialogism, and carnival. The term is derived from the Latin word intertexto, which translates as intermingle while waving. She thought that all texts were in conversation with other texts and could not be read or understood completely without an understanding of their interrelatedness. Next, intertextual definition. Intertextual definition also add additional layers of meaning. Nah, these outer created references can be deliberate, accidental, direct like a quote, or indirect, like an oblique allusion. Next, purpose of intertextuality. So in this slide, we have to know purpose of intertextuality. An author or poet can use intertextuality deliberately for a variety of reasons. They would probably choose different ways of highlighting intertextuality depending on their intention. Types of intertextuality. There are a few levels of potential intertextuality. To start with, there are three main types: obligatory, optional, and accidental. This type deal with the significance, intent, or lack of intent behind the interrelation, so they are a good place to begin. For the next slide, Leah will explain.
Yeah, thank
Leah, first.
Okay, Sakti. For the next slide, obligatory intertextuality. This is when an author output deliberately reference another text in their work. This can be done in a variety of ways and for a variety of reasons, which we will look at. The author intends to make the external reference and intends the reader to understand something about the work that they are reading as a result. This would usually happen when the reader both picks up on the reference and understands the other work being referenced. This creates intended layer of meaning that are lost unless the reader are familiar with the other text. Next, obligatory intertextuality. Example, you are probably familiar with William Shakespeare's Hamlet, but you may be less familiar with Tom Stoppard. Rosecrans and Guildenstern are dead. Rosecrans and Guildenstern are minor characters from the famous Shakespearean play, but major one in Stoppard work. Without any knowledge of the original work reference and reader ability to understand Stoppard work would be not be possible. Although Stoppard uh, title is a line text directly from Hamlet. His play takes a different look at Hamlet, inviting alternative interpretation of the original text. Next, optional intertextuality. Optional intertextuality is a might learn kind of interrelatedness in the case an author output may allow to another text to create another non-essential layer of meaning. It's the reader picks up on the reference and know the other text. It can add to their understanding. The important part is that the reference is not critical to the reader's understanding of the text being read. Next, optional intertextuality. Example, J.K. Rowling Harry Potter series subtitle allude to J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings series. There are several parallels between the young male protagonists, their group of friends who help them achieve goals, and their aging wizard mentor. Rowling also references G.M. Barrie's Peter Pan, both in time, character, and few lines. The main difference is that it is possible to read, understand, and appreciate the Harry Potter series without ever having read J.R.R. Tolkien's or G.M. Barrie works at all. The allusion only adds an additional but non-essential meaning so that the layer of meaning and enhances rather than creates the reader's understanding. Next, accidental intertextuality. This third type of intertextuality happens when a reader makes a connection that the author or poet did not intend to make. This can happen when a reader has knowledge of text that perhaps the author does not, or even when a reader creates link to a certain culture or to their personal experience. Next, accidental intertextuality example. This can take almost any form. So examples are endless and dependent on the reader and their interaction with the text. One person reading Moby Dick may draw parallel to the biblical story or Jonah and the whale. Another man and whale story. Herman Melville's intention were probably not to link Moby Dick to this particular biblical story. Contrast the Moby Dick example with John Steinbeck as of Eden, which is a clear and direct obligatory reference to the biblical story of Cain and Abel. In Steinbeck's case, the link was deliberate and also necessary of fully understand his novel. Next, types of intertextual text. In intertextuality are two main types of text, the hypertextual and the hypotextual. The hypertext is the text that the reader is reading. So, for example, this could be Tom Stoppard's Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead. The hypotext is the text that is being referenced. So in this example is would be William Shakespeare's Hamlet. Next, intertextual figures. Generally, there are 7 different figure of devices used to create intertextuality. There are allusion, quotation, haiku, plagiarism, translation, pastiche, and parody. The device create a range of options that cover intense meaning and how direct or indirect the intertextuality is. Next, yeah, you can to read this device and the definition of the device from before slide. Okay, thank you, teman-teman. Do you have any questions?
Closing.